I'm answering your questions about the MOBAPAD M6S and HDs. So I've covered the MOBAPADs quite a lot on the channel recently, and I was getting so many questions that maybe I didn't answer in the reviews or the comparisons, so I'm doing it here. I did a community post and I trawled through every single comment, and I'm gonna answer all your questions today, so let's crack on. First of all, yes, I have broken my finger, if that's what you're wondering. The first question is, are macros saved to the controller, or do you need to reprogram them every single time that you turn on and off the switch? Let me test it for you. Now, I already know the answer, but I'm gonna show you anyway. So I'm gonna program a macro, and I'm gonna go jump, Y. There we go, and then press the back paddle. And just to show you that that works, here's the macro playing. I am playing Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, if you didn't know, and it is incredible. So you just saw that that just played round. Now I'm going to turn the switch off, and by off, I mean sleep. Who really like fully shuts down the switch? I do it like once every few months, and wake it back up. There we go. And then I'm gonna press macro again, and look, it's working. So yeah, macro saves to the controller, at least when you put the switch into sleep mode. Do the MOBAPAD M6S faceplates fit the HD? Now, yes they do, because they're exactly the same shell. But just to prove it to you, there we go. How cool is that? So yeah, it does work. Do they wiggle when attached? Now, I was saying in my previous videos that getting them on and off is really difficult. You know, they're very stiff. But then I actually found out from MOBAPAD that it's a feature. They've done it on purpose because it aids in their sort of strength on the switch. There is no wiggle on that at all whatsoever. None. Like there's just no wiggle on there at all. So whilst I was saying it could be a bit of a con that they were stiff, I actually now think this is a benefit because it just aids in no wiggle. They feel really premium when attached. It just feels like one solid unit. And that's the same thing with, I know some people were saying about the Split Pad Pros having this bit for added rigidity. You know, you don't really need it because there's no bend or wiggle on this whatsoever. They are really welded on there. Do you think that they would work with another company's centerpiece with a USB-C and be able to charge via that way? Yes, this is the Nixie Wizard centerpiece, the newly released one with the USB-C on the top just there, and I have just tested it, and yes, it does work. So I'm gonna plug it into the USB-C. You can see the red lights are on. And if I go to controllers, it shows the charging symbol just down there. So it shows charging, and the red lights are on just there. And then it does go green once they're fully charged. And they are actually fully charged, but you know, it would take a minute for this to go, yep. But yes, they do charge via another USB-C dock thingy. And I also want to say, whilst we're here, that you can modify this, the official Joy-Con one, and remove this piece so that you can then just use this centerpiece. But you know, you're dealing with screws and all that good stuff, but it's possible. How is the rumble between the M6S and the M6 HD? Now, the HD versions obviously have HD rumble, but the M6S, I didn't really go over lots of detail, but it's not a bad rumble. It's one of the better standard rumbles that I felt compared to most other Joy-Con alternatives, because it's more of like a deep, low rumble rather than that horrible, like, you know, really a high pitch rumble like the Nitro deck, where it's a very intense, horrible, like tinny high rumble. This is still a nice low vibration, and I actually really like it. So I know there's quite a bit of a price jump between the M6S and the HD, but you know, you are getting 2 hours more battery life on the HD, you're getting Omron mechanical switches on the HD, and of course you're getting HD rumble as well. But rumble alone, I actually do rate the M6S rumble. So if you want to save some money and go with these, they are excellent. They really are good. I just, you know, I've got the HD, so I'm going to use those more. But yeah, don't worry, it's not a disgusting rumble. I would be more than happy if I bought a pair of these with the kind of standard rumble that they have. Andy, can you install the app? I had difficulty with this prior to, you know, my videos releasing, but I did manage to get it to work on my tablet. So you have to sideload it on Android, which is really annoying. I prefer to just download from the Play Store. But I did get it to work, and yes, it is in English, at least for the most part. So I managed to update my firmware as well to 1.14, I think it was, which adjusts some things. And also you can test inputs there, which is really cool. If you scroll down, you can go and you can remap buttons that way if you so wish. And you can even program macros and stuff, but the macros and that are in Chinese. So I kind of had to use my phone with Google Lens to do translate as I'm looking at it. It was kind of annoying, but you know, for me, I don't really need the app. I like for firmware updates, yes, I ended up updating all my MOBAPAD stuff at that point, but really you can do pretty much everything on the controller itself, so I didn't really see the need of it personally, but it's there, and I'm pretty sure it's actually on the App Store as well if you're on iPhone. Can you remove the gates? Yes, you can. I didn't realize this when I was doing my initial reviews, but you can actually remove the gates. So on the back here, there is, if I can get you to see it, there's these little tiny things just here, and it's very difficult, and you might cut yourself, but you can get them out. So you have to essentially pop all of these out and then the gate will come out. So specifically on the MOBAPAD S just here, the M6S, all the purple are circular, all the blue are octagonal gates. So if you want to swap them to have different colors or whatever, then you can do it. It's just a little bit fiddly. Are the M6 Gemini or M8, there's a bunch of names from the old school MOBAPADs, more comfortable than the new M6S and HD? Now, I've reviewed these on the channel a long time ago and I really like these. And I would probably dare say they are slightly more comfortable. I mean, it's kind of hard at the minute. I've got broken fingers, so it's kind of hard to a comparison. Maybe we just do right hand, but you can see the size. I mean, it's difficult. It's really hard to say because I personally, I think I prefer the M6 purely because it's fatter. Like, look how like bulbous this is. The M6S and HD have this big honking chunk on it, and it's probably a bit wider maybe as well. So I feel like it gets into the palm of my hands really nicely. Like, I just love this kind of almost eggshell kind of shape, but this is massive. And so I think I've got to give it to the old school ones for being the most ergonomics, just because of how far down this bit extends. Like, it really curves into the hand and it feels like an actual proper controller. So I would probably say the M6 Gemini or M8 or all the other numbers that they made, depending on the region that you lived in, is probably more comfortable here. However, I personally prefer the new ones just because I prefer this eggshell shape. It's just really nice, but you still can't go wrong with these. You know, if you've got a pair of these, whatever, these are excellent. Depending on your hand size, I would probably say these just because the sheer size of it and how that like arcs down into the palm of your hands. Like, that's really, really nice, but you're losing out on so many features. So these are better. Can you use these on the PC? Yeah, they're just Bluetooth, so you can do that. So all you need to do is get your Joy-Con, put it into pairing mode by pressing the pair button on the side, just like a normal Joy-Con, and then pair it to your Steam Deck or your PC or whatever you're using via Bluetooth. So you can do that. Just bear in mind, you can't charge these unless they're docked on the Switch, just like official Joy-Cons. So you either need to do what we did earlier, where you get one of these. So you could buy the Nixie one that has a USB on the top just there, because they sell this separately. They do sell this independently. Or you could get one of those third-party like Joy-Con charging dock things that you just slide them onto. That would work as well. Are they dockable? Yes. I can't believe I didn't mention that in the reviews, but yeah, they're dockable, absolutely. The only thing when they're not dockable is if you have USBs on the side of your dock. So for me, I've got 2 USBs on the side of my Switch OLED dock to power a charging dock and the 8-bit Do Ultimate controller charging dock thing as well. And it won't fit there because it's too wide. You know, this piece here hits the USBs, so you have to remove anything that's in it. But yeah, it sits down and you can just put it in your dock like so, and it will charge them up, you know, or alternatively, you can just charge it via plugging it in that way. But yeah, they do work whilst they're attached and you can dock them. Does it come in black or any other colors? Not at the minute. Not at the minute. The only colors you can get are the M6S in these kind of blue, turquoisey blue and purple, or the MHDs, the M6 HDs in white. There's no other colors at the minute. But of course, as I keep saying, you could mod these faceplates. You could hydro dip them, paint them, whatever you want to do. Obviously, you probably want to be a bit more advanced with mods and stuff to make them look good, but you can get them modded, or just, you know, I don't know, ask MOBAPAD. You just tweet at them or go on their Facebook and say, give me more colors. and maybe they'll do it. Can you do a weight comparison? So yeah, okay. So I've got some kitchen scales here. Sorry if they're dirty. Gotta turn it on. Right, so the M6 HDs weigh 178 grams. The M6S weigh 170 grams. The official Joy-Cons, bear in mind I've got thumb cap things on here, 102. The compacts here from Hori, 130. You've got the split pad pros as well, 154. Whilst we're at it, let's do the original MOBAPAD M6 Gemini, 169. And then finally, we've got the Hyperion Pros without the centerpiece, 171. There you go. Have the HDs started changing in color, yellowing, or getting dirty or anything like that? Well, this is pretty bright light in here. You know, I've got a proper big studio light, lights all around me and everything. So I should be able to see any noticeable dirt. And I've been using these daily for, I don't know how long now, weeks. I would say the thumb caps look to be yellowing a little bit, like just a little bit. And also I just want to say I'm really anal about having clean hands when I touch controllers and stuff. It really bugs me when you get like horrible sticky stuff all over them. No, like I need to wash my hands, or at least have clean feeling hands, you know, before I start using stuff. So my wife Christina, I always call her Dorito fingers because I swear she's always got like stuff on her hands, probably makeup. But anyway, there we go. So yeah, these here, they still look white, you know, on the camera here, they still look white. And to be honest, that slight yellowing might just be the difference between plastic here and rubber. But yeah, there is a very, very slight yellowing. Bear in mind though, that the thumbstick caps are removable. So you can just pull these off and swap them. But the actual controllers themselves, even on the back just there, nah, like fine. You know, they're absolutely fine. I love these. This one was quite specific, so I'm going to read it from my phone and then we'll test it, okay? Can you test to see if it's possible to have a turbo command running on auto on the left Joy-Con, whilst a macro runs on auto on the right Joy-Con simultaneously? Let's try it. So they want a turbo on this one and then a macro turbo on this one. Okay, so there we go, we've got shield for Sargon just here. So I'm gonna do shield to turbo. So I'm gonna press cog and shield again, and then press it, and now he's just spamming that. Now I'm gonna do a macro. Actually, no, let's do it the other way. So I've programmed that, right? So that is turbo, but I'm gonna just pause it for a second. Now I'm gonna do a macro here. So I'm gonna go cog for a few seconds, and now I'm recording a macro. I'm gonna go B, Y, B, and then program it to the back paddle. Now, if I double press the back paddle, that's gonna go into turbo that macro, and then if I enable shield, that's gonna do turbo that shield, right? So 1, 2, and then that. Oh, yeah, he's doing an ultimate. So, yeah, it's working. So he's jumping, he's trying to hit. I mean, maybe it's too quick, but it is working. You know, he's shielding, so that's on auto. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but that's flashing. And you can see that the macro of him jumping and trying to hit is continuous. So yes, you can have a turbo going on one side, you know, for indefinitely, and then a macro turbo on the right side indefinitely as well. Yeah, at the same time. It works. Is your trigger squeaking? Because mine is. Can you take them apart to see how easy it is to repair them? Mine is not squeaking. Let's attempt to take it apart. So I'm using a PHO gauge Phillips head just here. We can see the battery in there. We've got the rumble motor over here. You've got the ribbon cables that you're going to have to be careful of if you do take this off for the charging rail, and the other buttons and stuff like that. We've got our switch at the top there. So that is what a mouse switch looks like if you've never seen one before. Right, so that should be the board coming off. Yeah, there we go. So I got to be careful here because all of these buttons will fall out. That is what the front looks like. So we've got our switches under there, and we've got our joystick, which I can just remove here. There we go. The Hall Effect joystick module. We've got our buttons on the front. Basically, it's pretty easy for repairability. What's hanging here is the rumble motor. The triggers are, again, just sprung, so you could absolutely remove that. What's possibly squeaking is the plastic against the plastic. So even just undoing some of the screws a little bit might give it enough relief so that the plastic isn't sliding on the plastic and causing a squeak. But yeah, they are pretty easy to dismantle. The hardest part of dismantling these was actually popping the thing off after you've unscrewed it. So I used the spudger just here, and it was this top corner that didn't want to come. So be careful, because if you snap it, well, then you've snapped it. Do these feel cheap like other branded Joy-Cons? No, they feel really good. These are probably the best quality feeling Joy-Con alternatives I've ever felt in terms of independent standalone Joy-Cons. They feel really rigid. They don't rattle or anything like that. They are properly locked onto the Switch. The actual build quality in plastic is just amazing. Like they're really, really solid. And finally, what size thumbstick grips do I need to use? Well, I've got some Skull & Co ones just here. This is for the PS4, PS5, and the Switch Pro, but it's loose. So it goes on there, but it is loose. So, I mean, it's fine, but if you spin it like this, it is loose. This is actually one from a Joy-Con, and it is barely on there. Like, I've got it on there, but it is very, very barely on there. Like, I feel like that could just ping off at any time, but that is locked in, you know, so it's kind of in between. It's kind of in between a Joy-Con size and like an official Pro Controller size. So, but bear in mind, you can just remove the sticks, you know, so you can just get the stick here and pull it off, and you could change it for a different one if you so wanted. So, you know, there is that as well. And that's it. There we have it. Hopefully I've answered all of your questions regarding the MOBAPAD M6S and HD. Let me know if I've answered your question, or if you had any more questions. Maybe I'll reply to your comment, maybe, but we'll see. If you've enjoyed this video, go down there, like this video, subscribe. Don't forget we've got memberships open, and even on membership tier 1, you can view these videos early, up to a week early, at least a couple of days early, you know, because I generally schedule beforehand. But yeah, support the channel by becoming a member, and also check out mine and AJ's podcast, weekly podcast, where we talk about all things gaming, and check out another video from me down here. Actually, watch the MOBAPAD videos or whatever, you know, I don't know. But anyway, thanks for watching.